art lesson, you are going to be creating your own, very own digital art portfolio using an app called Educreations. Our learning goal for this project is that you will be able to use the Educreations app to create an art portfolio that has a reflection, and that you'll be able to use accurate art vocabulary and the 4-step critique process in order to discuss your favorite piece of artwork. So who doesn't love to talk about their artwork? I know I certainly do. All of these slides that you see, I've actually uploaded to my webpage for you to download and save to your own device. So each slide has information that you're going to be entering in using Educreations and adding in your own pictures of your own favorite artwork that you've made this year. It also has our rubric that we use whenever we complete a finished piece of artwork that you're going to be filling out to make sure that you are finished with your artwork. And then it has one slide for each of the 4 steps of the art critique. So an art critique is basically a way of looking at a piece of artwork and discussing it using the elements and principles of art. So, are you ready to get started? Alright, the first thing that you need to do is go to the internet. If you have a laptop, you're going to be going to Educreations. Now, if you've never used this application before, it is awesome. It is one of my favorite. Before we log on to Educreations, I would like you to go to the Palencia Elementary School webpage, and if you click over here on this side, the teachers' websites, you should be able to find my name under Wardley Jamie, and this is where I have saved all of the slides that you need for your Educreations art portfolio. Over on the side, there's a link that says Art Links to my favorite web resources. And if you see right here, Digital Art Portfolio, that link will allow you to, if you click on that, you can save all of the pictures that you need. Once you have those pictures saved, the next step is to go to educreations.com, or if you have the app on your iPad, you can go to Educreations on your iPad. And like I said, if you've never used it before, it's really easy to set up a student account. I actually have a course code that you can use. Now mine automatically opened up to my account, so it shows you all of my Educreations. I'm going to log out, and what you're going to do is click on Student Sign Up, and I'm going to give you a course code that you enter in. Once you enter in that course code, you can click Continue, and you're going to create a username, a password, and you're going to enter in your first and last name. So once you have that all set up and ready, then you're going to start adding in your pictures. Now this is an Educreation that already started. You add pictures by clicking on the little window at the bottom, and when you add the pictures, you can add pictures from your device. So if you save those slides in your pictures folder, you should be able to click on your pictures folder, and I'm going to click open, and here are all the slides that we need for the portfolio. So once you select those, then you can open them up. Now on the first slide, you're not going to begin recording until you have all 8 slides with the pictures on there. The next slide, you're going to click on the picture slide, and you're going to upload the slide that looks like a picture frame with your artwork. This one right here. I'm going to click open so we can just see. Now, the next step, once you have that slide entered in, is you want to either take a picture of your artwork or save a picture of your artwork. I added a picture of a lighthouse painting that I made, and I added a picture that was painted by Vincent van Gogh because he is the artist that inspired my painting. Now, if you don't have any pictures of your artwork already saved on your device, you can, if you have a laptop, you can go on artsonia.com, and if you search for our school, Palencia Elementary School, you may be able to find and save some of your artwork that's been published on Artsonia by entering in your name. Like if your name's Evan, you can find artwork by Evan at our school. Now, if you don't have any artwork saved on Artsonia, you can use my iPad and take a picture of it and then save it to your device. So you could upload it to Edmodo or save it to a device. Once you've found your artwork and you've added it to your Educreations, then you can go to the next slide, which would be our rubric. You want to make sure you've added that slide. The next step is the describing. So this is the art critique slide where you describe your artwork. You also want to add in the analysis. That means you analyze how you use the elements of art. This slide also analyzes the elements of art, so you're going to circle the elements that you used. And then third step is interpret. That means give your artwork a title and talk about the reason why you made it. And then the fourth step is to evaluate. That is to tell how successful your artwork was and what you liked best about it. So once you have all of your pictures entered in, then you are ready to press the record button. Now when you press the record button, everything you say is going to be recorded into your slides. You can also fill out and use the colored pens to write parts of your Educreation. So I'm going to press record, that red button there, and you're going to introduce yourself and say, "Hello, my name is Jamie, and this is my art portfolio Educreations that I made so that I could share with you all the things that I've learned about the elements of art and my favorite artwork." Then you're going to click the next slide and you're going to say, "This is the artwork that I chose. This is my lighthouse. It was inspired by Vincent van Gogh's landscape paintings, and this is a picture of Vincent van Gogh's." And you can see what is similar between these two artworks is the sky and the style of painting in both. Then I'm going to click the next slide. In the art rubric, I chose this artwork because I thought it was very creative. I checked off very neat. I thought it was very colorful and very complete. I give this artwork like a 3.5 or a 4 because it is one of the best landscapes that I've done. On the fourth slide, I'm going to describe to you what I see in my painting. First of all, what type of artwork is this? I'm going to circle landscape because this is a landscape because there's land at the bottom. It is not a portrait because there are no people, so cross off portrait. There are no figures. It's not a seascape because you can't see the ocean. It's not a cityscape because you can't see the city. It's not a poster. It's not abstract, but it's mostly just a landscape. What kind of objects do I see in this artwork? I don't see any people. I do see a building. I don't see any boats. I do see some land right down here at the bottom. It's not a seascape because there's land. I don't see any animals. I do see some plants right down here, those little tree branches. And if there's anything else that you see, you can add that in as well. What style of artwork did I use? Mostly realistic, but it was inspired by a type of art called Impressionism. If you don't know how to spell the style of artwork, then you can just say it. You don't have to spell it, but I'm going to write down impression because it's inspired by Impressionism. So it's not exactly real, but it's not exactly abstract. The media, number 4 is the media. That means what did you use to make this? I used paint. It was called acrylic paint. But you can circle if you use crayon, pencil, fabric, if it's a photograph. Just select the media that you used. And then you've described the basic parts of your artwork. I'm going to click the next arrow. Analyze. How did the artist organize the elements and principles of art in their artwork? So, the 7 elements of art that we need to know are line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. There are also 7 principles of art: balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, and unity. The element that you used most in your artwork you want to circle. So, for instance, I used a lot of lines in my artwork, so I want to highlight lines. I didn't really use many shapes, so I'm going to cross off shapes. I did use some color, but mostly value. Value is the lightness and darkness in colors. I did draw a form, that's the cylinder, and there is some texture. And I did use all the space. But line and value are the two that I use most. Now, as far as the principles of art, I used a lot of movement in the sky, and I made a pattern on the lighthouse because a pattern repeats white, black, white, black. So if you use those, you can circle those. Now the next slide also describes the elements of art that you can circle, and you can choose what types of lines you used. So I have a lot of horizontal and wavy lines in the sky. I also have 2 long vertical lines that go up and down, so I can use those too. What shapes? Well, I didn't draw many shapes, but I did use cylinders. And what colors do I see in this artwork? Color is an element of art. I see mostly dark and light colors. I don't see many warm colors, but I do see cool colors, so I'm going to circle that right there. I also use monochromatic, which means mostly one color, and can you tell what that color is? It's blue, that's right, it's blue. So I use lots of light and dark blue. Now what kind of textures do I see? Well, I see some rough and bumpy textures in the sky. Space. Do I have the illusion of space? Does it look like deep space, shallow space, or flat space? I would say deep space. I tried to make it look like the sky was really far away. And then if this is a landscape, what do I see? In the foreground, the parts that are nearest to you is the grass, so I can put an arrow. In the middle ground is the lighthouse, it's in the middle, and my background is the sky, so that was in the background. The next slide I'm going to interpret. What was I trying to say, or what was my meaning of my artwork and the title? Well, like I said, it was inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, so I'm going to call this Starry Lighthouse, but you can give it any title that you want. It's up to you. So I'm going to call it Starry Lighthouse. And the reason why I made this painting was actually to celebrate the birthday of St. Augustine. It's turning 450. The last slide that we're going to fill out is to evaluate, and that means to judge. How successful was your artwork? Sometimes this can be the hardest part, but I like to start with what I like best. And I would say with this, I love the sky the best that I made. What I could do better, I think the lighthouse, these little details in the lighthouse and the grass, I could have added more details to. So that's basically how to make your own Educreations with your art critique, and I can't wait to see how awesome they turn out, and we can save them and share them with people at our art show.